Welcome back, everybody. My name is Rafael Ibarra, and we are going to get into a Best Ball Mania draft, combating high rookie draft picks in 2025 Best Ball. Wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, maybe, and quarterbacks. Let's jump into it. All right, welcome. Let's see. I'm gonna present my screen real quick. All right, guys. You should see that screen perfectly. What we're going to be doing, though, in this draft, like I said, hopping into a Best Ball Mania draft. Actually, yeah, we're going to hop into the Best Ball Mania draft, combating these high-priced wide receivers and running backs that are in what we call this new slappy landscape. In my opinion, there is a very easy way to combat the wide receivers and we've seen the way in which wide receiver at going drafted highly last year, Neighbors, and more or less Malik Neighbors, but not so much last year with Marvin Harrison, if you got him on the right team. But absolutely with Marvin Harrison Jr. to win you football games. However, we also now have to do that with elite running backs this year. Not so much in the second and third round, but in the fourth, fifth rounds. In my opinion, the fifth and sixth rounds are the rounds that are most important. I believe there are 2 to 3 guys in that range that can win you fantasy. Last year we saw Brian Thomas Jr. Then there was another, but there's also like zeros right there. So there's where you can really start grabbing zeros, so to speak. So last year would have been a guy that I was clicking was Deontay Johnson, just a running back. Just a wide receiver that I thought was going to be on a good offense. I have a really nice role in that offense. And that said offense have a lot of volume. Maybe not be a good team, but have a lot of volume. What I'm kind of hoping with Ted McMillan. However, there are other pieces in that offense in Carolina that is, I think, deeper than what we saw last year. I was also targeting Chuba Hubbard, but he was going in the later rounds. And so in this video, we will not be talking about late round picks that I like, more so just focusing on high-end rookies, maybe even some year 2 players that we are skeptical on, maybe even guys that are still on their rookie contracts. I think that broadens the scenario a little bit. Whereas, let's say a guy that has gotten a second contract like a DK Metcalf, a Justin Jefferson, a Saquon Barkley, we kind of know what those guys are. Other guys in this video, Marvin Harrison is a good example, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr. Those are guys that we kind of still don't know where exactly they will fall at the end of the year. Another good example, I think, is one of the first examples we will see. We might be able to get him here, but I am not the highest proponent of him. Ashton Jeanty. I think this offense in the fantasy community, we can probably hype up this offense a little bit. There's two offenses that I think we're going to be a little bit higher on than my expectations brings about. I think that the Raiders will be a team that the basketball community as well as the Bears are going to be two teams that we kind of overhype for this season. I think Arizona falls into that bucket a little bit more. But I do think more and more people now are coming to the realization, or at least the realization that I have, that Kyler Murray isn't an elite quarterback. He's just like a fine dual threat quarterback that offers you rushing upside. However, if they do utilize him, he can pay off Marvin Harrison's price. But the first couple of players that we will see, these first three in Jamar, Justin Jefferson, and Saquon, they do have their second contract. Bijan is the first guy that we do see on his rookie contract, playing on his rookie contract. He could be possibly the 101, as well as Jahmyr Gibbs. Coming off at the 106, he was kind of my target in this round. Here, I'm hoping to land Puka Nacua. He's been one of my favorite targets in the back half of the round, as well as Brian Thomas Jr. Malik Neighbors also is a fun click. We do have Week 17 schedule, the Week 17 schedule, as well as all the schedules out that have come out yesterday. So I'm actually going to queue up Drake London. Now on my rankings, it shows Brian Thomas Jr., Amon-Ra St. Brown, Bauer, CMC, Josh Jacobs, Drake London, and then A.J. Brown, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Ladd, so on and so forth. ADP has it a little bit differently. They have Derrick Henry a little bit above where I think he should be going. 7 spots where I think he should be going. I think Josh Jacobs and Bucky Irving are two running backs that should be going around where Derrick Henry should be going, or vice versa. Derrick Henry should be going where those other two guys are going. Derrick Henry goes, I'm going to be able to draft Drake London and pair that Week 17 matchup. Drake London is another guy that is playing on his rookie contract still. I think with the emergence, I believe he is on his rookie contract. Yes, we have seen 3 years of Drake London. He finally gets a awesome quarterback, but if you see the numbers right here, the amount of targets this guy is getting in this offense, I think Darnell Mooney is a fun click. However, I do like the Drake London pick, and I do think he should actually be going in the reverse of a Nico Collins. I just think he is the more number one target dominant player in that offense. Yes, there's Bijan Robinson. However, I think this offense is going to be good enough, the Falcons, to push the ball. Who I'm really betting on, I could be wrong because I did see clips of him really not looking good as well. But did play a good back half of the season. Michael Penix Jr., that's kind of what I'm betting on Drake London to do, is to have a really good season with Michael Penix Jr. That being said, I think Drake London has the ability to go in the top 12 next year, and that is my bet. I do like the A.J. Brown click. I'm comfortable with any wide receiver, and if I'm in the back half of the round, I'm kind of in the middle back, you could say, so I can be a little bit more flexible here with this next pick. I have Tet as my next guy in the queue. What I'm going to be doing is I'm probably going to be grabbing Tet here, a couple picks above ADP. I just think it's a comfortable click, kind of staying away from other guys like Rashee Rice, Davante Adams, Kyren, just because I'm more so betting on the Puka Nacua breakout. I hope he stays healthy. That's what I'm kind of betting on. Tet was picked in the top 10 in this NFL draft. He is also on his rookie contract. He is a rookie. What this Panthers offense needs is a dominant wide receiver one. With these three picks, Puka Nacua, Drake London, Terrell McMillan, that is what I'm betting on in this offense. With the next pick, I really like the Omarion Hampton click. However, if Lamar Jaden falls to me, I don't mind those clicks either. Because Chuba can also fall back to me, and I would be fine with that click as well. But for the sake of this draft, I probably will go Omarion Hampton just to show you guys and to explain something to you guys. Let's see. I'm going to grab Omarion Hampton here. I really like to go elite quarterback with two other dominant or I think undervalued guys or quarterbacks that can offer a high floor for my elite quarterback so that I don't need the elite quarterback per se to be stacked up. Because for an elite quarterback, I'm betting on that he has enough rushing upside and he distributes the ball enough where all the other players don't hit, but he hits, and therefore I free up more spots at the wide receiver position. But with this Omarion Hampton click, I'm betting on that at the end, what Best Ball Mania is in what Best Ball and Best Ball Mania is majority of the money is won at the end of the year in weeks 15, 16, 17. And I'm betting on Omarion Hampton being there, being able to consolidate that backfield by himself, earning him enough touches, a touchdown or two, a couple catches for this guy to be my running back one overall, even though he's a rookie. Now, last year we saw a guy by the name of Bucky Irving now being drafted in the end of the second round, being picked in the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th round. So you can get him at the end of your running back builds. With Bucky Irving, I'm grabbing Chuba Hubbard right now. But with Bucky Irving, with Omarion Hampton, I'm saying he's going to just stay on my bench a little bit. And instead of being my fourth, fifth running back that I pick, he's going to be my first running back that I pick. But the guys that I pick after him, the running backs that I pick after him, are going to allow him to stay on the depth chart of my draft. And so, like a guy that just went behind me, RJ Harvey, that's another guy that I think can have more breakout potential. And I think my next click will also be a running back that is also More so, oh, he just went. I was gonna grab Henderson right there. I think Caleb Johnson is a nice pick as well. It's a little bit above ADP. But for the sake of this draft, let's check ADP just a little bit. I'm going to say Caleb Johnson. I'm just going to grab him. Not a large fan, not like a giant fan of Caleb Johnson, but I'm saying I have enough wide receiver power. They're going to hit my lineup weeks 15 through 17. I don't need to draft another wide receiver. I'm going to grab 3 more running backs that I think will be dominant playmakers for me throughout my season. Even though Best Ball Mania is won in weeks 15 through 17, you're not getting to the final. You're not beating your pod if you're not dominating. And you're not probably going to win Best Ball Mania if you're not dominating your pod. This sets me up with 2 running backs drafted in the top 3 rounds of the NFL draft that can break out. I think a running back that is interesting, but I haven't really tapped into him very much, is he hasn't gone yet. Is Quinshon Judkins. However, I do like his other running mates. Let's see. In Dylan Sampson, I'm taking the guy that's cheaper in this backfield. I'm kind of like a 0 RB approach in the back half of the round. Now, I'm probably not going to grab him in this draft because I think, or I could to stack with Caleb Johnson, but I'm just saying like these 2 running backs are going to hit my lineup at the end of the year. And those are the only 2 running backs that you would need to win Best Ball Mania. With this next pick, Judkins comes back to me. That's very interesting. You know what? I don't grab a lot of Judkins. I was going to grab Swift. I'm going to grab Judkins there. Emeka Egbuka is probably my next play. Luther Burton's pretty fun as well. But now I need to start getting lost my train of thought. I need to start getting more so older, established players on this team that I think can serve a purpose on this roster. I think stopping with DeAndre Swift is actually interesting to do. However, that might put me back a little bit, just a tad bit, at the wide receiver position. I'll play it by ear. I think Charbonnet is a fascinating click later on, but I don't mind having DeAndre Swift as my 5th running back. I don't mind that at all. I think there's enough quarterback points for me to catch up. Tight end, I think I have enough. I think Emeka Egbuka. Do you want Emeka Egbuka or do you want DeAndre Swift? I'm gonna take Swift and end actually my running backs right there. Just because I have two older wide running backs in my lineup that can hit in the beginning of the season, and then my three long shots at the end of the season. Now I am basically done at the running back position. In the next 3 rounds, I'm probably gonna have to take a wide receiver or two. Rashad Bateman is a very comfortable click in my opinion. I think he offers upside, especially in underdog for touchdowns. Let's see. And then there's other running backs. Like I can grab Romeo Doubs, but I think for the drafts after you can even say after the second wide receiver, but definitely after the third wide receiver, you kind of want to look for guys that can have a spike week for you or two. I think Pat Bryant was a guy that was hyped up last year, and I think he will be a fun click on this team. I liked Noel. I think he's just a bet for my team that Drake London's better than Nico Collins, like I was saying in the earlier in this draft. Rashid Shaheed is okay. But he's like whatever, in my opinion. Trey Harris is a rookie. I'm very comfortable with Rashad Bateman here. I'm going to take Rashad Bateman. With this next click, I think I'm going to take my cromulent Tucker Kraft pick. I think that's a very, very easy click in my opinion. Justin Fields still here. I don't think he offers enough upside at the QB position. I think I would like Justin Herbert here. If I'm being quite honest with you guys. Or Drake May. But what I'm betting on is Penix is gonna come to me. I have Bryce Young also on this team. I might want to do Justin Herbert. I think Kraft will come back to me. I'm gonna probably take the Herbert click. I think in this draft, I'm okay with drafting Christian Kirk. Not a Christian Kirk guy. I'm going to take Herbert. I'm not that much into Herbert, but I think it's fun for this click. Betting on the rushing upside of the Chargers with Herbert's legs and Omarion Hampton's legs. Let's see. Where's Bateman, dude? Where's this guy at? Invisible. Let's see. See if I can get my exposures on here. Best Ball Mania. So I've taken Tet in the last couple Best Ball Manias, and Best Ball Mania 2 and 3, or 3, and now this one. So I should be at 50% Tet in Best Ball Mania. these I need to just upload more of my rankings per se, or more of my exposures, an updated portfolio of my exposures. Especially if I continue to draft Best Ball Mania. I'm gonna cool down on Best Ball Mania after I think probably tomorrow. But right now, I think we're sitting pretty with. I actually have a lot of running backs. I don't need Charbonnet. If I want to take a late round guy later on, I can do that as well. I could take like Giddens or something, or like Hunter, but I don't need him. Rashad Smith. Trevor goes. So Tucker Craft would be my click here. Is Jordan Love still on the board? No, he is not. Jordan Love, Tucker Craft, and like Jordan Love, Craft, Tucker. Jordan Love, Craft, and Jaden Reed are fun clicks in my opinion. Altogether, I think they're going to get majority of the work in that offense along with Josh Jacobs. I think him as an anchor running back is quite fun actually. But right now I'm just betting on more so established rookies or established guys in their rookie contract. Puka, London, Chuba. Or actually, Chuba has a contract now. And established rookies and guys that have their second contract can push the rookies on my team to the end of the tournament and get me in to the finals. But I think I'm sitting pretty here with this build. I like it. I might take Penix just because he doesn't. I don't need him per se, but he is obviously a fun click. You know, it's kind of a cromulent pick here. You know what? I have nothing else to do. I can do tight end. Ooh. Ferguson there actually would have been nice and fun. I don't think he's gonna get necessarily the targets taken away from him. I think the Cowboys over the year like to throw to the tight end. I think Hunter Henry later on is just a fine click though. I think he's gonna have another fabulous year with. I can grab also Kyle Pitts, betting on that offense to do good. Carolina plays my team, Seattle, week 17. The Ravens. Who do the Ravens play? No clue. I do have the Pittsburgh and Cleveland matchup. The Chargers. Who do the Chargers play? Don't know that one either. McMillan goes. Romeo Dubs is like just a click here, I think. After these guys go, it's just like a lot of zeros on the board. I do like my draft. I don't love my draft. Not something I do. I think it's something that is very open. I think we should be open to drafting more like this, in my opinion. On the top of my draft, I do have Jalen Noel, I'm going to grab Jaylen Noel. He's going to be the opposite, a rookie wide receiver like Tet that gets pulled into Best Ball Mania to help me out. I'm sitting at 2,551. Oh, Bryce goes if I did not. Dang it. I do have Penix, so I'm kind of thinking that Chuba and Ted are just pretty average then. Or Bryce doesn't run anything in per se. Chuba runs 2 in. I don't need Bryce. So it's just wide receiver, quarterback, tight end. I could go Stafford. Stafford goes. I think what I'm just gonna do, I'm just gonna take Milrow later on. Dubs. Dubs is a click. Yeah, it's just a fine click. He doesn't do anything special for me, but it's dang it, forgot Hunter Henry was there for me. So now that he goes, definitely need to do a 3 tight end build. I think Gesicki is an obvious click. He goes. Mason Taylor. Do I want Mason Taylor on this team? I don't have any Patriots. There's no bring back on that game. Jatavion Sanders, and then he goes. Pat Bryant goes. That's not fun. Elijah Arroyo could be a click. Then on Seattle. I think I'll do a Chig click in this one. I think Chig will be pretty fun this year. Brendan Strange, how many yards did he have? Not amazing. I want to click running back right now, but the build is different, so I have to kind of zag here. I mean, we're at the end of the draft. Taking Okonkwo here is just fine, I think. Keenan Allen, maybe if he lands on a team, could be a click. Been getting sniped kind of in this draft, which is just fine, I think. Nothing to worry about. Leggett goes. I don't think my draft is terrible. We do have a couple rookies, more than a few rookies, but not to worry about. Nothing to worry about at the running back or wide receiver position, in my opinion. In the quarterback position, we do have guys that can sling the ball if necessary. Not my ideal structure, but I think in a pinch, if you find values at the running back position like I did, Martinham, I think the Quidshawn Jenkins click should have been a running back. I mean, should have been a wide receiver. So I think that could have been like the Abuka click. So I have a 2-5-7-2 build. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rookies on this team. Not terrible. I do think you can say the Rams. I mean, the Chargers are a slower team that don't really need to get the ball off a ton. As well as Baltimore, Carolina. I do think these are going to be fun offenses, though. I think they have something to prove this year. The only team that doesn't really is Tennessee, but I only have just a slight piece of them. I do have Cleveland and Pittsburgh, but I'm betting that they are efficient enough running the football that it helps fantasy, and I have enough. I have them in the right places. I don't have them at the wide receiver position, at the quarterback position. I have them at the running back position. I think Milroe offers fun rushing upside at the end of the year. And then I'll tack on Elijah Arroyo. Or maybe even like a Torrey Horton. I like the Jimmy Horn click. He's been getting steam as well in this off season. I think Elijah Arroyo is more so the click. Need another tight end. So getting another rookie that I think can come along at the end of the year. Just offer some fun upside. Elijah Arroyo does go. Man. But then I'm saying Milroe just goes nuclear with his legs. Like I said, elite quarterbacks, they don't need anyone else. Man. Do I just bet that Cole Kmet's there in week 17? Doing something for someone? I think he's a fun upside play. He can get traded. Can Chig hold down the fort by himself? Theo Johnson. Oronde Gadsden. I think Oronde Gadsden should have been the play, but it is what it is. It's alright. It's alright. I think this was a fine draft. My last Best Ball Manias have landed with the projected points kind of near 2,600. I think round 8. I like round picking from the 10 or 11 more than the 8 or 9 or 7, just because you can really get your plays back to you. But I do have At the quarterback position, Justin Herbert, Michael Penix Jr., Jalen Milroe. I have with my quarterback, Justin Herbert, Omarion Hampton as my running back. I do have Chuba Hubbard, Caleb Johnson, Quinshon Judkins. Oh, now it does that. Quinshon Judkins and DeAndre Swift at running back. At wide receiver, I have Puka Nacua, Drake London, Tyrell McMillan, Rashad Bateman, Jalen Noel, Romeo Doubs, and Keenan Allen at wide receiver. And then at tight end, I have Tucker Kraft, Chig Okonkwo, and Cole Kmet. Pretty okay draft. Not the greatest. I do think what I'm saying is my quarterbacks don't need a ton. My tight ends don't need a ton. I'm going to beat you with my top 3 wide receivers. Hopefully get Rashad Bateman in there or Jalen Noel. Or at the flex position, or more per se, my flex position is going to come from the running back position. So I'm going to have Omarion Hampton or Chuba Hubbard or Khalil Herbert, or Caleb Johnson, Quinshon Judkins, or DeAndre Swift that go nuclear in the Best Ball Mania finals. With I would want to call this a robust or bully running back build. I would want to say, I don't know what you call this build, but it is definitely interesting. In my opinion, I would call it like, I think Dead Zone is more these two in the 3rd and 4th round. So end of the 3rd, I think Josh Jacobs is right out of it. I think he and Jonathan Taylor actually should switch. I think Derrick Henry should go in the 3rd. I just think Breece Hall, James Cook, and Kyren are more so running backs that Joe Mixon a little bit, Walker a little bit, Chuba kind of, definitely David Montgomery. Those are just running backs that can bust at the end of the year. But I do think that now, more so now, looking at the running back position, I think there isn't as much depth at the running back position, whereas we've seen, I think Braylon, Algier, Braylon Allen, Tyler Algier, Rico Dowdle should be going, or Benson and Garendo and Ramondre should be going, at least in that area. I think they're going a little bit lower than I think we have a couple players like a Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, who else is up here? Christian Kirk, Javonte Williams, just guys that are either old or just haven't done anything in a few years that need to go lower. I think Warren and Colston Loveland can be pushed down a little bit. I think Spears can be pushed down as well as ETN. I just think there's a lot of value in either elite, like first round running back, or like top of the second. Like you put Bucky Irving or Josh Jacobs, guys that have those 3 down profiles. Even Achane to some extent, I don't think they have enough superpower at the wide receiver position in that offense to be good. So I'm kind of fading the Dolphins, and I don't want to fade Achane, but I'll fade him enough where he's not going to matter in Best Ball Mania. Or I'll pull him along on like a Gibbs team or something and then go like really wide receiver heavy through the next like 6 or 7 rounds after that. Um, let's see. I just think there's a lot of mistakes. I do want to get my draft rankings out. I think I end up around Chris Olave area or about George Kittle areas where, wow, like Jaden goes at 55, Hurts goes at 51, Burrow goes at 49 in this draft. Like Jaden Daniels almost being able to fall around to me is crazy. That's nuts. Let's see. Like his ADP is 42 and he almost, wow. Like if he was on the board, he would definitely have been that click. But he wasn't. I mean, the guy in front of me did have Terry McLaurin, so getting that stack was really nice for him. But of course, if he did miss out on that, I think like Zay instead of Devonta would have been like a better click. Just having a guy that can offer you more spike weeks, but what he's betting on is he's betting on that Saquon's kind of a bust, and they need to pass the ball a little bit more. He does have Jordan Mason on his team, but his team's not great. Like having that Jaden Daniels value and not being able to push it, in my opinion, is not very great. He does have a kind of similar approach to what I've done, but I think I would have flipped the Terry and Jaden. I would have went wide receiver in the 5th, quarterback in the 3rd, and then probably wide receiver in the 6th, running back in the 7th, or even 8th. Push tight end down. I just think quarterbacks, they're kind of going in the right place. I think they're the only group of guys that are going in the right place. But I do think that, let's say, I think Justin Fields is kind of going a little bit too high because he doesn't offer enough passing volume. I think Caleb can slip a little bit. I think Kyler is too high. I think Burrow can slip. But Burrow going in front of Hurts and Jaden is very crazy to me in this draft. But again, my draft, Puka Nacua, Drake London, or my quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, Michael Penix Jr., Jalen Milroe, my running backs, Omarion Hampton, Chuba Hubbard, Caleb Johnson, Quajon Jenkins, DeAndre Swift. My wide receivers, Puka Nacua, Drake London, Terrell McMillan, Rashad Bateman, Jalen Noel, Romeo Dubs, and Keenan Allen. And then my tight ends, Tucker Kraft, Chigo Okonkwo, and Cole Kmet. I think it's a pretty fun draft, pretty different, something that I don't do. I'm going to label this and call it a day. I might do that a couple more times this offseason on different ends of the board, but I'm going to name this 0515 YouTube I'm gonna call it. I'll just call it what this video is. Let's see. High rookie picks. High rookie picks. Drafting rookies. High rookies. Call it high rookies. Drafting rookies. High rookies. High rookies is fine. Alright, well, we got that one in. We got 4 BBMs in. We're probably gonna do like, hopefully I stream all the BBMs. But I don't think I have. I streamed this one. This love one that I grabbed him, auto-clicked him super early. I did not stream that one. But like I said, having Tet already on this one, no. There's just a couple guys that I do want on my BBM teams. I know I'm not gonna have a lot of BBM teams. So kind of calling my shots in BBM. Like I said, Swift is a good click. Sharps, Rico, Dylan Sampson, Brian Thomas I like a lot. Tet, Addison, just my guys in this draft. And then doing something different at tight end. I think at tight end is where tight end and quarterback is what I want to switch up most. And then more so keep running back and a wide receiver, more or less the same, or at least the same teams. But yeah, I think I did 2 out of the 4, streamed 2 out of the 4, which is not bad, but I hope to stream more of my BPMs. Definitely puppies and other single contest teams. Definitely my favorite of these drafts was the marathon, and I think I do have an edge in that draft. And like I don't like necessarily the sprint format. BBM format is okay. I'm just drafting that one because there's a lot of money in weeks 15 through 17. But my favorite contest is basically drafting a team and in hopes that you have the best possible squad available at the end of the year. Basically calling your shot from the beginning of the year till and waiting to see if you were right at the end of the year. So that's why I like the marathon. And the smaller contest, the smaller tournament contest. Like I hope to I think the eliminator will be fun. So I'll get in a couple eliminators. Kind of like a big or small marathon. It's like a big marathon. You could say the eliminator is. But a lot of people in fantasy like the marathon. So I mean like the eliminator, so I think I'll get into the eliminator. I haven't seen the payout structure per se, but 1v1 until the 3-seat final, which is very, very fun. Only 6 out of 12 remain in the first week, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah. So I think the eliminator, the only difference is once you're eliminated, you can't build up more points to help you if you fall behind in one. Your hits need to be consecutive Whereas a marathon, if you're not doing well weeks 1 through 4, but you're smashing the rest of the year, you have a chance to win. I like both those contests, in my opinion. I think they're underrated. But BVM is the flagship tournament, like it says. People just like it because of the prize total. 2 million to first. 200 million goes to first in the eliminator. 100 million goes to first. 100K. I keep saying million. 100K goes to first in the marathon. 200K goes to first in the eliminator. 2 million goes to first in Best Ball Mania. I like it. I like it a lot. We are also getting, for the same 100 million, only putting 5 in the first in the Puppy and the Schnauzer. There's going to be a lot more of those coming later on. There are edges in DFS, edges in Best Ball Mania. That's why we are here. That's why we are drafting and streaming. Hopefully once a week. Hopefully more in the summer. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. If you guys liked the video, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. It's right there. The Rafael Ibarra. I have all my takes, all replies to what I will be doing in terms of news that comes out. But I hope to see you guys in the best ball streets. Bye for now.